Hey, Dan.
Hello.
It's 9:33. 3 minutes
done,
late
yeah.
for our own show.
In Soviet Russia, podcast should be you.
Yes. In Soviet in Soviet Russia, internet gets 3 hectares to the hectare gallon something. Oh man, my ears are clicking. It's gone. I lost that ear. I'm gone. I'm down to one engine. It's bad. This is how we're starting.
You're just going to DJ it the whole time.
It sounds terrible. Here we go. All right. This should be the podcast, episode 39. This is the podcast.
It should be, but is it?
Well, it is because we've done it 39 times now. I still I feel stupid when I tell people the name of the show.
Really?
I don't bring it up very often, but they're like, what's the name of your show?
I never bring it up.
I was like, yeah, no. Other people bring it up on my behalf. They're like, my friend Dave does a podcast. I was like, yeah, well, technically it's not a podcast because you can't catch it on a podcaster. It's just on YouTube and the interwebs. But
I would argue that pretty much any format where two people are talking.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a semantic line, but
it's a recorded spoken word form on the internet.
If just look at the people's face when you say it next time, if it ever comes up, you're like, it's called This Should Be the Podcast. And they're just like,
why? Because it should.
Okay. Is that something you guys really feel like you should be the podcast? No, it's an inside joke. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's just a joke.
I feel like it's
whole damn
relatable,
thing's
though.
a joke. Oh, maybe so. Yeah, I mean,
there was that Family Guy
here's
bit
the trap.
about it.
Do we feel like it's relatable because it's our joke, or is it actually relatable?
I feel like within a lot of groups of mid-30s white dudes talking about conversations and having an overinflated sense of their own importance, surely a lot of friend groups have been like, dude, you know what? We should do a podcast. Yeah, that's a great idea. We should talk about you. You should tell that one story about that time. And then and then it becomes a recurring joke the next week. You'd be like, this is what we should talk about, man. The heel's going to cover the spread.
It only took us 2 years to come around to doing it. So, or whatever hell long it was.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
No, it certainly was not. So, the other day I got a text message from a friend of someone's screenshot of their Bluetooth on their car, the radio display.
Yeah.
And it said change Thursday - monologue.
Oh,
and
no.
It was a person in my life that had no connection to that era in my life. And I was just like, what are you doing here? How did you get that? What is that? It wasn't that. Okay, so
it's like Batman. Why did you say that name?
It was like worlds are colliding. It was my George Costanza moment. And it was my second George Costanza moment in my life. But I wasn't
two?
Worried.
I've had so many.
I've only had really 2. The other one was when I came home from New Hampshire visiting one time, and Elliot Kuhn and Kayleen and Jeremy, and then 4 open door church people were there. I was like, what the hell's going on right now? This is my church friends, my school friends. You guys can't be friends. This isn't cool. No, but I wasn't super embarrassed about the music because the embarrassing high school music stands for itself. But I was just really I was confused on how that person came across it. And they do you remember Isaac from Jeremy's church?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the connection. They were hanging out.
Yeah, I ran into him a couple. I tell you about that a couple Christmases ago, 2018 or something like that. I was at the aquarium.
Right.
Yeah.
But Homeboy still had it on his. He had it on some kind of digital download thing,
like a Zune or something,
or that maybe he's carrying around an iPod still. I don't really know. It's let's plug in. I don't know. So it was just really funny. I was like, it was you, Isaac. You had the connection. That's hilarious. But yeah, it was weird because then I found a couple other MP3s of stuff I had, and I listened to it. Then I sent it over there. I was like, oh yeah, I haven't listened to stuff in forever, so this is kind of weird. Listening to yourself back is strange.
I hate it.
We were talking about this earlier. Yeah, but you
Yeah.
purposely record way more stuff than I do, music wise. We're not even talking about this.
But like, I don't even like,
shenanigans.
yeah, it's one thing if you hear stuff from like 10, 15, 20 years ago and you're like, oh, yeah, well, yeah, we're kids. You know, I hear stuff from like 2 years ago. I'm like, what the hell was I thinking?
Yeah.
The
Like,
bass
it was
isn't loud
2000.
enough. The vocals out of tune. Like, as soon as I get done with a project, like right when I'm working on it, when I hit submit, I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever done. And then
Sure.
6 months later, I'll pull it up and think, nope, not good. Or like,
Nope,
as soon as I
garbage.
listen to it, like
Hate it.
on Spotify, where it goes through the filters and stuff, and it sounds like shit. I'm like, oh god.
Hey, it holds up. Hang on. It's a good little riff, man. It's cool. That's
that's
it's
a catchy
hooky.
one.
That's a good one. I like
Yeah.
it.
That's why the album I'm working on now is all instrumental, because I'll be able to come back to instrumental stuff in about 10 years.
No
And be like,
vocals.
oh,
I like the vocals, but I mean, that's hard to do.
well, I just don't have anything to doing an album with vocals on it is like a 4-year process because I got to wait around for stuff to
Sure.
happen to write about. Then you got to come with. I write lyrics slower than George Martin, so it's like
Well, see,
but
here's what you got to
instrumental
do.
jams. I can just pop those out. That's fun. So
Well, fair enough. And I say, here's what you got to do. Like, I could do it. I really couldn't do it. And like, we were hooking up stuff and talking, and like, I was just like, Josie's on a vacation for. So that whole song, that song is complete. The song's not about anything. I just watched like a 12-minute clip about that song, and the guy's like, "What's that about?" She's like, "Well, the guitar player came in, he had this lyric. It's like Josie's on the vacation far away. Something we'll talk it over." He's like, so I just started singing it. They're like, well, who's Josie? She's like, oh, she doesn't exist. The whole song's fake. We have no Josie.
I love that song musically, but the lyrics are stupid.
Oh, the lyrics are awesome. Like,
They don't make any sense. They sound cool when they sing it.
Yeah, exactly. No, they make pretty good sense. But I mean,
It's also a good like
whatever.
litmus test. If you see a bar band and then they start in with that song, you're like, okay,
all right,
like
Take
because
it
it's
up a
high,
notch.
right? I mean, it's
Yeah, vocally, it's very hard to play. That's a good jam. That's a very power pop tune. That's really good.
Yeah, we used to play it. It's pretty cool. It's got those cool little harmony guitar parts in the middle, so you can always tell
Yeah.
like when they get to the middle. I'll be like, all right, are they going to do it right? And
What
then nobody ever
like
does.
what interval of your band played it? We used to play it?
After I did the country thing, and then when
Yep.
we was the singer left, and then we brought Shayla in to sing, we were going to do a whole different vibe. That band existed for about 6 months before I joined the tribute
Gotcha.
band, and then that kind of stuff.
Okay,
So,
cool. All right,
so we were just happy to have somebody who
Band.
we were happy to have somebody who could sing high stuff. So we're like, let's do all this stuff with high vocals. So that was fun.
I
But
feel like a girl singing that song just doesn't work. But you're more apt to find a girl who can sing that song for sure.
well, that was part of the appeal was that she has
Yeah,
a voice
sure.
that can. So yeah.
Good. That's all good. Yeah. Cool stuff. Good stuff.
Welcome to the delicious dish. You're listening on NPR.
Yes. Later on, we have a new song by the hit band Iron and Wine called "I Hope I Die and I Hope You Die with Me," and it's going to be sung in 7 minors, which isn't a thing, but I just said it.
Join us next week with our horticulturalist friend, who'll be explaining to us all the various varieties of walnuts. Anyway,
Yes, All Things Considered is brought to you by a bag of dirt.
sponsored by Joe Biden for president.
Okay, yes. All right. Fake NPR voices aside. Well, another weird week, man. Has anything stood out to you this week that you want to talk about? Like, it doesn't have to be news. I got some newsy stuff I want to rant about, and I've already kind of ranted about with some friends, and I'd be happy to do it with you. But if there's anything else you want
I don't
to
have
talk
anything
about,
specific.
am
I think
down.
about this like every Tuesday, like because I have to take so many steps for me personally. Because like I get wrapped up in like, even on like when the weekends when I kind of like I do fun stuff, or I'm
Yeah.
hanging out with the kids and I'm not catching up on news and stuff like that. And then like Monday comes and I'm like working. I'm like, all right, let's see what's going on. And then it's like all these horrible things, and I'm thinking about Klaus Schwab again, and it's just like,
These horrible things.
I'm just like, I just get in this rap. I was like, I feel like that meme of Charlie Day where he's like sitting there and he's like talking about Pepe Silvia, you know?
Exactly.
Sometimes I really feel like that. So it's like, I don't even know.
Yeah, man. Like, so, I don't know what it's like in your area. So yesterday I was driving around in Moorhead and I saw, one gas station over $4. I was like, oh shit. So I was like, we were kind of on the outskirts of town. I was like, this is a random gas station. This is probably just a thing. And then on my way back to my work, I drove by like 4 other gas stations, and like the gas is like 409 around here is where we're at. I was like, wow, dude, that jumped quick because I think last week it was in the
it went
70s.
up real quick.
Yeah, I've never. I mean, I think I paid for $4 a gallon gas when I was in college one time, and then
I remember in 2008.
Yeah, somewhere.
My last restaurant job, I remember feeling it because I was driving from Hillsborough down to South Point every day, and I remember basically doing the math. I'm like, all right, well, okay, so my first hour is free. It's basically because like when I factor in no matter where I work, the first hour was always free because that was the amount of gas I burned just getting there.
Right. Yeah,
yeah. It's like it got up to like almost 5 back then.
Yeah, no, was it that high?
Maybe I was imagining it.
No, look. Actually, my memory's terrible, but I remember it hit $4 or got around $4, and that's when I went and spent $120 on a bike and just started biking around Greenville as much as I could because I was still a student and I had jobs in town, and I could do that. It was a very time-consuming effort on my part, but I was also a broke college student with friends and roommates who never paid their rent, so I was always paying for that. So I was very broke. So I was just like, yeah, that really hurt.
Yeah.
So,
well, no, maybe it's different in different areas. Like, because I mean, sure. I've heard that like it's at the highest it's literally ever been.
Yeah. What's it like in your area? What's it?
I haven't. Well, I got gas on Saturday, but that was over by the zoo. So I haven't actually got gas since then. So I don't know what it's like this week, but
gotcha.
It's definitely in the 4s.
Crazy, man. Yeah. So it's bonkers. Like, and there was just news today that they're cutting off. The U.S. is going to cut off oil exports from Russia, which is funny that they're now doing that. They didn't do that 2 weeks ago when they started having all their sanctions and all their boycotts. But here we go.
Yeah.
Which is, again, it's only like, I think we get like 3% of our oil from it, but that just sends signals to the world market, and that's gonna ratchet things up and get crazy on pricing on throughout the planet.
Yeah, I really think it's going to make all the people who have the capacity to change these things learn all the wrong lessons.
Oh, for sure.
Like they're
not going to learn the right lesson. Yeah.
The right lesson, which is like, oh, wow, maybe we really jumped the gun on that whole energy independence thing. Maybe we shouldn't have mothballed our own, like it's one thing to say like fossil fuels are running out. So we should be developing other solutions. Like that's a smart thing to say. Okay. But they're not run out yet. So it's like, what do we do? We just not use the oil we have? Like, meanwhile, like the other countries aren't stopping the oil they have. So while most of the West is dismantling their nuclear power plants and Russia's over there is like, yes, buy gas, buy more gas,
Right. So here's the most insane thing about it. And like, this is a retroactive insanity and a current insanity. So the retroactive and current insanity is the U.S. will not produce oil that it could release into the world market and lower prices, and or if they really wanted to shelter for ourselves and keep it for ourselves. Not that we should do that, but here's what we go. It was like, well, because there's environmental concerns. There's we're concerned just about the whole efficacy of oil. So what we're going to do is we're going to buy it from people across the planet who have no scruples for environmental protection, no scruples for just social freaking welfare of their citizens, and then we're going to cart it across the planet to us at an insane cost of environmentally and fiscally, and then we'll refine it, and or either it doesn't matter if it's where it's refined, it doesn't really matter. So what we do is we just go, all right, so we're not going to have it here, we'll buy it there from very evil people and then we'll bring it here. And
how is that any better than us making our own oil?
It's so worse. There's no better. It's not environmentally better. It's not morally better. It's not economically better. It's worse on every single level.
And they're only doing it. Not to turn this into another Let's Go Brandon rant, but it's like literally Joe Biden's first thing he did in office was cancel the Keystone XL pipeline.
Yep.
Which was going to create, was that for going from Canada down to like the Southeast or something?
Yeah. Yep.
So immediately, as soon as he did that, that's when gas prices went up to where they already were, they went up by $1, and then, but then he explained to me, I don't really know the answer to this. Like they say that he greenlit the Nord Stream 2, like why did they need his opinion on that?
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't know.
I
All
don't
I
know.
heard was that like he closed the Keystone, and then he maybe granted like some sort of drilling rights for the pipeline in Russia so that they could be energy independent. Like, why would he do that?
So again, so this is something I didn't really get a chance to read up on. So like I've seen where the White House press corps, specifically just that one dude from Fox News who grills Jen Psaki 1,000 times. Like what's with the not drilling in the United States and cutting off like a Keystone pipeline, things like that, and just like not opening up domestic drilling. She's like, there's 9,000 open drilling permits that are unfulfilled. Okay, but like, what does that mean? Like, I don't.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. So, like, are you just saying like the oil companies aren't drilling to make money? That doesn't make sense to me. So, like, and then how the right? So, if that what you just said with Biden to or our administration to another country's thing, I don't know. I'm not familiar with that. However, I mean, I'm relatively familiar with the idea of supply and demand. I get how
Yeah.
this works. But like, I don't understand the ins and the outs and the legalities, and also the double speak that comes from what is a drilling license? License is the term. A permit's not even the term. It's like a whatever. It doesn't really matter. Just the ability to drill in a certain area. Also, I don't get why someone can say, I don't see why you're concerned about closing one. We have 9,000 others. But like that can't be the thing, right? It can't just be like there's 9,000 drilling opportunities and the Keystone pipe, but that's a drilling opportunity. That's not a transportation opportunity. That's what the pipeline is. The pipeline is a mobility thing. It takes it from one, goes somewhere else, and that's shut down. I don't know why that's shut down. I can't imagine
because they want to appease the green lobby.
Right.
They want to be seen as reducing our dependence upon petroleum and increasing our dependence on alternative energy sources,
or foreign petroleum, as otherwise as we
right.
But yeah, you're right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and but like you make such a good point though earlier, just like so. Okay, this petroleum thing, we need to get off of it. This is not good. Let's not sustain this forever, but let's have we'll sustain it. We'll have petroleum, and then we'll bring green energy up to that, and then we can bring this one down. No, it's bring this one down, and green energy is like it's not there.
Yeah, and then you have blackouts like you had in Texas last year.
Yeah, California on the regular in the summertime for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if this was the stock market, nobody would advise you to do that. You don't be like, okay, not. Like, oh, I've got all my. You guys, like, your broker's not going to be like, all right, look, you got too much money in Microsoft. Okay, like they might be on the way out. Okay, they're still doing good earnings right now though. So you go, oh. Well, I should just take all of my money out of that and put it into these new tech startups here in Silicon Valley. Like nobody would do that. Like, okay, no, keep it in diversify. So because life is unpredictable.
Yeah,
but we didn't do that. You're even more so than us.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. Well, they're smarter than us because now that like the Russian pipelines have been cut off, Germany's like, oh shit, turn those nuclear power plants back on. Oh, we made a big mistake here.
At least they have the power plants to do that.
Yeah, see, and that's so when you said something about the Keystone pipeline earlier, like again, you're watching these press conferences, you're like, why won't you open up this pipeline? They're like, the pipeline won't really benefit anybody for like another 6 years, like as they keep going. Be like,
that's why they raised the price now, though.
Yeah, but if we had done this 18 years ago, we'd be fine. It's the same thing with nuclear power plants. It takes forever to build a nuclear power plant, get it up to speed, get it up to code. If we had been doing that for the last 30 years or 25 years, whenever there's been a moratorium on building nuclear power plants in the United States, we would be in a much better position now.
Right.
Our power grid wouldn't be like the laughing stock of the fucking planet. And like
the Keystone pipeline, the canceling of that is what caused the prices to spike up.
Well,
not
yeah,
because
exactly.
Because the people who are in charge of the oil companies are like, well, we're not going to cut into our profits. No way.
No, and
so as soon as they heard that, they're like, oh, prices go up because they have reserves.
Sucks. But that is a natural reaction of supply and demand over the long haul. Like we're not talking about like supply and demand. Like I buy your chicken, you give me a bag of corn. Like that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about like these markets are huge. They're global. There's billions and billions of dollars, and they trade on futures. They gamble on what things are going to cost. They gamble on what things are going to not cost. Like It's an insane game. I'm not saying it's a great game, but this is the game that's played. And this is how it works. This is just how it freaking works. So like when you tinker with the market, people go, well, in 6 months, I feel like this is going to be some garbage. I'm going to short my stuff. I'm going to sell it high, or I'm going to buy low. I'm going to buy high. And like, it just, I'm not smart enough to even figure
You're listening
out.
to Market Watch with Dave and Dan.
Exactly. This is crazy money on this
7:15 in the a.m. This is your traffic update.
Pork bellies. Everybody should buy pork belly. Yeah. So like
Issue
again,
4.
like,
Pat Buchanan proposes a flat tax.
wrong. But like, this happens, and like this is what's going on, and like so like again, but this isn't. But so like on that macro crazy level and how it's intertwined with governments and regulations, I'm not real clear on. However, uncertainty in the market is always a bad thing. Uncertainty in any market, like if you were to be like, hey man, just think about the rising cost of food, it'd be like, man, my grocery bill just went up $100 this month. It might go up to another $200 next month. It's like, should I buy more groceries now at a lower price, or should I wait and gamble that it's not going up $100? Like, that's a consideration that everybody has. It's same with gas. Like, not that everybody can like buy 1,000 gallons of gas and steam it to their house, but like, would you buy a bunch of gas right now and keep it in your property at $4.10 when the price might go up to $5.50? Hell yeah, you would. If you think that's happening,
the penultimate version of this is the real estate market, which is insane.
Oh, for sure. Oh, absolutely.
And
exactly.
normally, if it wasn't for my present circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. I would just be like, oh, okay, I can watch, like watching the Super Bowl, where I'm not terribly interested in, in what teams win. But like, to anybody who is actively either buying, selling, or somehow involved in that, it's insane. And like, I know my realtor friends who are like, they don't really know what's going on. Is it a bubble that's going to burst, or is it just prices are just going to go up and stay up? And then that's going to create all kinds of problems, like crime and stuff. People can't afford to buy houses, so people moved out into people are renting, and then the suburbs and people. I mean, it's just like, because all these foreign companies buying up all the properties.
Well, yeah, that's a whole different story.
I was literally talking to somebody in Durham. Was like, they're trying to buy, but they can't, because everything that goes on the market within like 6 hours it's bought. And they said the last 4 houses they looked at, they were bought by Chinese companies.
Wow.
They can't, they snipe in there at 20,000 over asking price. So I don't know who all's doing that. If it's BlackRock or some sort of, now we're getting conspiracy theory, right? But like,
sure.
Because
now,
you got these corporations in cahoots with the governments, and now it's government subsidized housing, and then it's like, you will own nothing and you will be happy. What is it? The quote.
Well, also, you're kind of in a tech area, so I can kind of see why corporations might be buying up housing for employees and things like that.
Maybe.
That's just me being shiny. So like when we sold our house in 2019, or was it 2020? We put it on the market on a Tuesday. We had like 4 offers, maybe 5 offers by a Friday. Nobody came and saw our house. Nobody. There was no showings. It was offers on the table. We'll buy it. And they were, from what we could tell, mostly local people or statewide people around the state. It wasn't yeah. So that's a microcosm of people waiting or just seeing what the market's going to do. And they go, okay, we think the market's going up. I see something. I jump on it. I see this stuff, dude. I talk to people every week. Legit. So it's like people will send us their due diligence report and say, hey, I got to fix a window. I got a broken piece of glass. I got a broken mirror. Let's fix this stuff before it. So I go in there and I'm talking to people, and there's casual talking to homeowners. It's like, you guys moving in, moving out? Like you guys are out of here. I'm talking to a realtor. Like, yeah, we're selling the house, man. The market's crazy high. We're going to sell. We're going to hold. We think we're going to make a lot of money. And then when the market crashes, we're going to build something. Hopefully when everything comes down.
What are these? Are they going to like stay with family or something, or downsize, or?
Oh, they downsize or they rent or something like that. Yeah.
If I didn't have kids and stuff,
vice versa,
I would be tempted to do that.
Well, because it's impossible to go the other way. You can't sell your house right now and get a bigger house.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's not going to, I mean, you can, but you're not going to make any money.
Yeah, you're underwater.
Or you're gonna put more. But now, if you need that and you're willing to spend the money, that makes sense for you. But most people are taking advantage of going, holy crap, my house went up 100,000 grand. I better sell this stuff. Plus, I have my equity in this thing.
Yeah.
I can sell it, and if I got a place to rent for 2 years, and you're able to find that, good for you.
To me, the secret weapon would be if you were a person who lived in like a metro area, and as everybody's transitioning to like remote work anyway.
Oh yeah,
you'd be like, you know what? I'm kind of working from home most of the day. Why do I have to live like 10 minutes from downtown? Like.
Yeah, well, get the hell out of here.
You go out in some like Garner or Clayton or somewhere outside of Raleigh. As long as you're near a highway, you're still 20 minutes from the city. Right. You get like so many more square footage, or especially if you're like, say you're a retiree. There are probably people who are gaming the system who are really kind of benefiting because they're being smart about it. And the rest of us are all just eating a shit sandwich.
Yeah. We super lucked up. We sold our house as the market was escalating and we made money on it for no reason other than that.
Yeah.
And then we kept up with it. It was fine. It was a decent house. It just wasn't anything special. And then we bought into a new neighborhood that was being built where the prices were set, and they had not yet quite caught up with the construction cost.
Yeah, new construction. Is it new?
It was new, but it was new like a builder new, like in a neighborhood.
Yeah.
So they were set prices, which are already elevated because it was a builder new, but it wasn't like set pricing like it's like now my house is already going for like
this was pre-pandemic when you did that.
Yes. Right before the pandemic is really when or mid-pandemic, I guess you could say we kicked it off. So
yeah,
it was crazy. But all I'm saying is you brought in the real estate. That's a really great. But that's the example. Like that's the thing of markets, people making rational decisions based on the shit that's going on around them. And like everyone can see that and that. Everyone can see it in gas. Everyone can see it in housing. Everyone can see it in food. And then for some reason, governments pretend like it doesn't happen with fuel and oil, like the natural resources we have. So there's more to it. There's ideological reasons it's not happening. There's political reasons it's not happening, and it's disgusting.
What I don't understand is everywhere I drive in Durham.
Ooh, we got a comment. Finish that. Sorry, go ahead.
Everywhere I drive in Durham, especially like within a mile of my house, there are so many houses being built and apartments.
Yep.
Like townhomes, single family homes, they're just going up like left and right. And yet, so the supply is increasing. Like, why is everything...
the price? What's the price doing? Going up still?
Well, yeah.
Wow.
You don't even want to know what my house got appraised for. But like...
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, so...
Right, so they're building all these houses, but the price is still...
The existing inventory price is going up still.
Yeah.
So like your house is existing inventory, so that's going up.
Yeah.
Wow, crazy, man. I mean, it's just... It's
going to have... I mean, on the short... If I was in a slightly different circumstance, you're like, all right, cool, I'll just sit on this, as an asset. But like for a lot of people, this is going to be a big problem. People aren't going to be able to start businesses. I think it's societally. You're going to have a lot of multifamily homes. People, right. Like there's all the stuff that comes with housing problems. People are going to like move. People are going to start renting. You're going to like low income housing. People, it's just the type of stuff I see in Durham. Crime.
Yeah. To your point here, look at this. We have a relevant comment. So I feel like we have to highlight this because this never happens. So Judah McNeil, no fucking clue who this guy is. Kansas.
He looks like a pervert.
Live there. He does. He looks like a groomer. And then also supply is not increasing enough. So
that's such a great insult. I never heard that before. Just to look at somebody like you can say like, hey, he looks like a groomer. Like that's such a weird insult. Like
Judah is not a groomer, not a pervert. Judah.
It's like I heard this joke one time. It was like the worst thing you can say to a person is to be like, who is this clown? Because not only are you calling them a clown, you're saying they're not even a well-known clown.
To be clear, Judah, we're using his StreamYard login to use this show. So he's our buddy, and he's not a groomer or grooming your mom.
Look at that beard, though. That beard is well-groomed.
It's really good. But to Judah's magnificent point, yes, supply isn't increasing enough. So what's going on in Durham? So like, is there So that's crazy because there's still an influx of people that want to move there. I think that's the
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
So
Well, everybody,
now,
people got, I don't know about, I mean, the word on the street, I mean, big cities, metro areas are all, people are flocking there, right? So, I mean, there you got like Apple's moving in, they're opening up a new Amazon warehouse at some point. So, like,
is Apple moving into the triangle?
that's what I heard.
Wow,
I
crazy,
don't know. I
dude.
don't know exactly where,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
But
so
still,
it's safe to say that, like, because Shayla and I were talking about this because she wants to buy at some point, but it's like, do you get in now? Like, I just got to go ahead and buy something, whatever, just right now. Because every
yeah,
6 months that you wait, it goes, you know. But
yeah,
or
yeah, but eventually in
the worst
18
thing you
months,
could do
it's
is
gonna
be
go.
like, is wait until you got a solid down payment. All right, this is a smart financial decision. You just get it, and then as soon as you buy it, it goes 2008.
Right, right, right,
You
right.
know,
If that's a good point, you should also, yeah, you really shouldn't do it. Also, less people are moving into dorms post pandemic. I don't know what that
like
means,
people in college,
or maybe he just means like apartment like living
huh?
because it's unsafe in their minds.
Maybe.
Maybe, maybe clarify, Judah. But like,
I'm
yeah,
gonna need you
you're
to
right. You
circle
would,
back on that one.
yeah, yeah. Like right now would be. I mean, if it were me, if I had like 50 grand to throw in a house, I would not waste that 50 grand on a house. No, 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 no way, man.
I
You're
would put
never gonna
it.
get that back. Oh, he
I
says
would put
college.
50 grand. Well, I would put 50 grand on my house.
No, no,
I
yeah,
would
yeah,
put
yeah.
50
I
grand on a
would
new house.
a new house. No way. So Judah meant college. So well, I guess yeah, that's a good point. Like people aren't going to college, so then there's a million people. Yeah, so people aren't in dorms on campuses. So you got this influx of like millennial 18 to 25-year-olds with nowhere to live.
Maybe that's what it is.
I mean,
Because
that would be a problem. Yeah, for
I tell you
2 years,
what,
people
no,
are
that's
moving
true.
on.
Because
Yeah,
you walk around downtown Durham, you see Duke students walking around outside with masks on, so they're deathly afraid of the virus.
well, these people are insane. But
It's
like,
it's so freaking stupid.
no, but what I'm,
We finally got the indoor mask mandate lifted yesterday.
oh yeah, how's that going then? Are people
Oh yeah, I mean
happy?
it's fine. People still wear masks.
Of course
I
they do.
still like. I walked into a store and there was like most people were, and then there was this guy behind the counter with a mask on, and then I literally saw like I was in Cary today, and I saw this guy walking with his daughter alone in a field
Yeah. Well,
wearing
look,
masks.
no joke here though. Like for 2 years, people weren't allowed in dorms. So like, in the morning we watched like a local news station, like the Greenville affiliate, like NBC or something like that. So like they do a lot of ECU kind of stuff, and like I'm talking like like November, December. They're like ECU mandating new restrictions based on Omicron variant, and then just like a month, 2 months later, it's like masks aren't even required anymore. You're good to go. Testing dropped. Masks gone. But like just freaking 3 months ago, right before Christmas, it was like shit's going down in Greenville, dude. There's clusters everywhere. They're all gonna die. You're all gonna die. And like
It's a hot spot.
it's the same infection rates right now. It's crazy, but whatever. It's just there's a new story out there, and it's not the COVID. But again, like if I had say I want to buy like an investment property or something right now. So if I had 50 grand, I was gonna buy a house, I wanted to rent it out. No way in hell I would put that money down right now on a house. Like you're gonna lose your shirt, dude, in a year or two when everything crashes. It's gonna crash. You should not put any money into a new purchase right now. For sure, if you own your house and you want to pay down your debt all day long.
The more time goes on, the more I'm convinced that a crash is coming. Like when they were starting to go up, I'm like, all right, this might be normal, kind of slightly more than sustainable growth. But with what it's doing recently, where I'm like, oh, this is cruising for a bruising.
Oh, it is. It is. It's 2008 all over again, and it's crazy that like this is the same crap we're going through, and like it's gonna.
I mean, it has a slightly different cause, right? It's not because of than the 2008 bubble.
Yeah. Well, yes, but it's still, but it's not that much different because so if you were advising someone to buy a home, say you had 50 grand, you'd be like, should I buy in the area I want that requires a down payment? Like, no, you should go a little bit out, get a rural development loan, get your freaking stuff for like zero money down, and get the same bang for your buck in a house, and then not owe any crap on, or not be out 50 grand right off the bat. Like, so it depends on what you're trying to buy, I guess. So like, I mean, North Carolina it's a weird market. Like your Durham's a different spot. Like everywhere in Carteret County is basically called it's the country. So like unless you're on the water, you get like the cheapest freaking mortgage ever.
Yeah, but
Hardly
even the
any
rest
money
of
down.
Morehead City is still like beach adjacent, right? Wouldn't that be?
Yeah, but like again, only if you're like straight up downtown. So like if you're trying to buy like on Evans Street, like right on the water, like anywhere that's a little bit off the path is considered rural. And then you don't.
Huh.
I mean, okay, I'm also speaking on my ass here, just in general. But like, you don't have to put like you can get a VA loan, you can get a rural development loan, you can get a loan that's like almost close to zero down
Huh.
at like what 2.5 interest rate or 2.7, 2.3 half the time, depending on your credit. So you'd be crazy. You would be crazy to put one penny down on a house that you don't have to right now, because it's that value. It's whatever that over purchase price you have, you're going to lose that in like there is no equity. You're going to lose so much equity in a couple of years. It's not even freaking funny. Now, again, maybe Durham's a different market because there's so many people being influxed. However, it's still artificially high, which I'm sure I get you're seeing that just because you said new houses going up. They're all the same price as everything that's existing. That's crazy talk.
Yeah. No, it's
yeah.
insane.
Like
And
you
it's
shouldn't be able to sell your house for a new house price. It just shouldn't work that way.
No, there's all kinds of shit that's broken in my house.
Yeah. I don't know. So again, back to the oil thing, back to Russia, back to all that stuff. Like that's the thing though. Like all these, like we're talking just on things we know in our local area, and we're only what 100 miles apart from each other, and the variables there for a house that only involves really two parties at a time is insanely uncontrollably unknown.
Yeah.
So, excuse me, the purchase of a petroleum product that's purchased by billions of people for billions and trillions of dollars over like 6 months is just, it's unfathomably difficult to understand what the pricing is going to do. And like the people that tell you that, okay, so I just said, I know supply and demand, but like, you're just like, I know why this happened. I know this is going to do this. This is 100% going to do this. Like, that's not a thing that people can say. But in general, you have these trends in the market that you can see. I don't know. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer. Russia cuts supply, prices going up. I mean, I'm sorry, man. People are scared about that, so they're going to react that way. That seems like a general rule, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Sorry.
Maybe I'd buy 50 grand of shares in Tesla.
Dude, I would love to.
Because I think they're not going anywhere.
I love everything Tesla stands for. It's great. I dig it. I don't have the discretionary income to buy a Tesla, but I would love to own one. I think it would be great. It would be like put your money where your mouth is, kind of thing like that. So it's nice. I dig it. And also kudos to Elon Musk. Like when the whole world is canceling Russia, because you can cancel countries now. You can cancel a
Oh yeah, that's
country.
a whole rabbit hole.
Dude, I want to talk about that for a hot minute. And not that Russia doesn't deserve to be canceled. Just saying.
No, Putin deserves to be canceled.
Okay, good point.
Not
Right,
Russia,
yeah,
the people.
exactly. That is part of the rabbit hole. So Elon Musk goes, they're like, you could turn off every Tesla in the Russia territories. He's like, yeah, I would never do that. No, why would you do that? So Elon Musk, 2024, I will vote for this guy. Not really. Here you go. Ooh.
Who's this person?
I don't know. Every time oil has gone over $100 a barrel, it was followed by a recession, except the dot-com crash.
Huh.
Interesting. Dot-com crash was, that was not good. Cool. Good to know. Thank you.
That's some Alex
History
Jones level
undead.
stuff there. You know,
Yeah.
Look, you can look it up, Joe. You can look it up, Joe. Every time it goes over $100 a barrel, there's a crash coming.
Yeah, I don't think it's every time it goes. It's been over $100 a barrel a lot. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's not good that it's
Maybe
over
if you took it as
$100 a
like
barrel.
more of an aggregate graph, like, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Maybe a running average of some sort of years. But yeah,
The hilarious part of like everybody thinks Teslas are so much better. I mean, granted, they're amazing pieces of engineering.
but
It's like, where do you think the power comes that you're charging the car with?
yeah, it's all coal fired. It's not. Yeah, it's not petroleum, but it's definitely carbon fuels. There's like electricity. Like, sorry, yeah, you're right. The charging
Unless that
stations
thing,
for
unless you're walking around like a Tesla, and then it just has like a solar panel just sitting on top like this, where it's just and you're living in Arizona. It's just so charging the battery all the time.
yeah. Did you see this week? Pete Buttigieg, who's for some reason the transportation secretary of our
Don't get
country
me into
because he
that
was the
guy.
mayor of South End or whatever.
South
He's just
Bend
South End, South Bend,
was a fourth
wherever
wing. Fort Wayne.
whatever Notre Dame is. It's such a non-city. I don't know its name. It's South something.
My
Is
favorite
it?
story about
Is it the
that was that
Southlands?
like he was the mayor of the city, and they had such a bad pothole problem that Pizza Hut was like,
Oh yeah, that's right.
we
They
can't
fixed
deliver
them.
pizzas in this city. Can we pay $1 million to fix the
I
pothole
think it was
problem?
Domino's, dude. I think
Or maybe it was
Domino's
Dom.
did it.
And then they make him transportation secretary.
Right. But like this week, so like they had this big thing. There's like toting like their green energy initiatives, and it's just like, you know what, the gas prices, they're going up. So this is a great incentive for every American to buy electric cars because every American can afford like 40 or 50 grand for a freaking sedan for their car, like as a car. Like, okay, dude,
To be
let's.
fair, some of those hybrids are reasonably affordable.
Are they real hybrids? No. He said electric cars, not a hybrid. He
Okay,
said
yeah.
electric
But if I
vehicles.
was going to
Yeah,
be
fully
nice to him
electric.
and be like, okay, you know, getting a new like a Volt or a Prius or something isn't that much different than getting a new, you know,
Okay.
something
All
else.
right. So here we go. Definitions. I don't know the definition. Is the definition of a hybrid an electric vehicle? I don't think so.
I'm sure they like those more than just gas guzzling, you
Yeah,
know,
maybe.
eight
Yeah.
cylinder Challengers and Mustangs
Hey,
and
look,
stuff.
and dude, again, I am down with buying an electric vehicle. I've just never pulled the trigger on it. It's not feasible for me. Like, I got no problem with it. I think it's great if you can make it work.
Yeah.
But like, I just thought that was funny. So like,
It's just you could never make like a movie like The Road Warrior in today's society. Nobody would believe it. They'd be like I guess like Fury Road kind of got grandfathered in because it was part of the series. But like if that when you watching that movie now, then you're just sitting there and you're like, they're fighting over gasoline. So what do? They all drive these souped up hot rods and 18
Right.
wheelers, and they're all just zooming around, flying. Stuff.
hey, cool. We got
I
another
love me
couple
some Mad
comments.
Max.
I'm so happy here. This is so good. We get some interaction tonight. Our normal Russian bot, Vin, FYI.
Ramsog Swamanek. Okay,
Love him to death. Glad
making a
he's
good
here.
point there. Yeah.
History's undead. Everyone should drive a motorcycle. Hey, I mean, that's a thing. You can do that. You can drive motorcycles. In fact, like you could reduce traffic deaths to zero by making every car a tank. That's definitely a way to do it.
Electric powered tanks.
Ooh, solar.
You can get 1 mile per charge.
Yes. So
I saw an ad for this little flying human drone thing. Oh,
What do
what's
you
it
mean,
called?
human drone thing?
Well, it's a drone that you can sit in. So it's like kind of like a full
Whoa.
flying, like your own personal little airplane helicopter thing.
Kind of like the Green Goblin and Spider-Man. Like,
Well, you sit in it, right? And
okay,
it's
never mind.
it's
You
got a
don't
little
ride on it.
quadcopter. They say that I forget. Is it Vespa or I don't forget the company that was coming out with it. But
that
they're
would be
hoping
amazing. if
they're
Vespa
hoping like with
came out
battery
a flying
technology
drone.
improving, it could improve it, right? But like, yeah, it looks like a little drone. It's got like 1, 2, 3, 4 propellers, and there's a little human
Yep.
thing, and you can just fly around. And they say that you don't have to have a aviation license or anything and like stuff. I was
Right.
like, and they start at 90 grand. You get you one of
Okay,
those.
prices will come down.
If I lived
They'll
in a
come down.
city, that's what you do. You get one of those. You
rooftop
park
to rooftop.
I don't know. You park out there and you just you could just
No,
go
I
from
mean-
the Chrysler Building to Grand Central in like 30 seconds.
If that technology was on board and you lived in an urban area, that would make total sense.
It would be chaos. Can you imagine like a traffic jam of everybody zooming around?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be chaos.
It would be
dude.
so
But-
much death.
No, I don't think so, dude. Have you ever been in a Tesla that's in like auto drive?
No, I have not.
It is amazing. Like that thing stops, starts, accelerates, red lights, stop signs, everything. It just drives like you are not like you would want it to drive. It's amazing. It knows everything around it. It knows the spots. It's freaking crazy, dude. It's done by what? Satellite? It's done by road data. It's done by all that stuff. There's no reason you couldn't do that in like cities and like topographical stuff with buildings and all sorts of crap. And like it knows
Okay.
it knows the cars around it because of the cameras. So if I mean, it is true that if every one of those cars were the same, you would be in a super safe position just to chill in your car and drive if everybody had that technology.
This is
right?
a good. I mean, this is a good setup for a sci-fi movie because you're thinking. I mean, like the moral and like implications of that are if you just let your mind wander for 30 seconds. I mean, you're talking about like who controls the algorithm that controls the self-driving car, right? So we're all driving self-driving cars. You know, we're all riding around in them, getting so much done. Oh, I'm reading, you know, like I'm getting work done. I'm taking calls. I'm spending time with my family, you know. Meanwhile, there's some sort of massive.
I'm watching internet porn and being a pervert in my car. This is exactly
you
where
can
it's
control
go.
the tint of
It's
the
not gonna-
windows.
it's not going to be. Yeah, it's not going to be good.
Yeah. So, like, meanwhile, all of that is controlled by some server farm somewhere, right? And so, who thinks the government's not going to have control of that, right? So they'll be like, "Oh, this person, well, he posted the wrong thing on Face World or whatever it is in 20 years."
Oh yeah.
And so, you turn off his car,
Awesome.
and you're all now you're stuck, and you can't go anywhere. Or somebody hacks in there, and they go, "Oh, they're dead." Okay, and then now your car flies off of a bridge.
That's possible. Yeah. So
Oh, there was a carbon monoxide. Oh, they don't have carbon monoxide in an electric car, but you know what I mean.
no, they don't. But yeah, perfect segue to canceling an entire country that's reliant on a digital currency on the
Actually,
internet.
hold up, sidebar. That's what they did in that Tom Cruise movie.
Minority Report.
Yeah, because he was driving the car and then it just stopped because he was wanted. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
No, but that's okay. So that's why guys like Elon Musk are important. That's why people like American Express and Visa and Netflix are fucking cowards. So they will bow to political pressure to turn off their services to people who are unpopular. Russia is rightly unpopular. I get that. That's not a problem. China is just as unpopular, just as evil, just as maniacal. Egypt, the same. Syria, the same. Yemen, the same. Saudi Arabia, the same. I was making this point earlier. They all ethnically cleanse their opposition. They murder gays for being gay. They silence opposition. They throw journalists in jail. They brutalize their citizens. And all these companies that are boycotting Russia. Oh, yeah, Venezuela. Exactly. Yeah, Venezuela is exactly.
You read story? Straight to jail.
Believe it or not, straight to jail. Yeah,
Dinner too cold? Straight to jail. Anyway.
Right. So this isn't a principled thing. This is a bandwagon thing. And it's disgusting for that reason. It's not bad that you would refuse your services to an evil regime. Okay. I get that. Now, you said this earlier too. You should cut off financial ties to Putin, maybe to an oligarch.
Yeah, because he's connected over there.
Yeah, but cutting off your access to the internet, literally cutting off the internet to Russia, to the Russian people, that's a brutal thing to do. You should not be in the business of doing that.
Yeah, because who knows what sort of narrative he's going to use that with, right? Because right now he's my guess is he's pretty unpopular with the rank and file Ruskies, right? But if the rest of the world turns on Russia as a whole,
they won't know it.
There's a sort of natural solidarity that occurs. He's like, the rest of the world wants to silence great Russian Empire, right? And then all of a sudden everybody's like, oh, this Putin guy, he's doing something, So I think that's bad.
Well, that's why Kim Jong-un, Kim Jong-il, friggin' everyone before them, the internet didn't really exist before that. They heavily curtail the internet activity that comes to their country. They don't want Western information floating in there. They want to control it all.
That's why they build like the facade hotels and stuff like that, and the fake storefronts and everything.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, like just the whole fake cities and stuff. So like if so what you're doing is you're literally, if you you hurt, sanctions just hurt the innocent people in countries. They don't hurt the power elite. Like they're fine. They're going to
those people are bypassing the normal system of capitalism anyway.
All day long, or fascism, or totalitarian, or communism. Like the communist leaders weren't communist; they're the most capitalistic, freaking decadent.
Right, they owned so much.
Planet. Exactly, they owned everything,
and they're the same people that are the oligarchs today.
Right, exactly. It'd be like putting sanctions on Soviet Russia. It'd be like, oh, you want the people starving who can only eat potatoes to eat less potatoes? Like you think that's a win? Like
Yeah.
like every I get everyone gets vodka, but everyone gets vodka. Not everyone gets vodka, caviar, a mansion, all that shit. That's what
And they probably
that's what
get
the
crappy
cartels eat.
vodka too, like
Of
Stolich
course they do.
Naya or something.
They get that shit vodka, which I also poured out of my house. Now, just saying. So again, but those things aside, that whole point is aside. So it is super creepy that there are these companies that have this kind of control, and I get it. It's a double-edged sword, right? So I was just talking about how awesome it would be to be in all the cars, all like a Tesla, all working together, all being safe. But there is that thing that someone could grab that grid, grab that control, grab that algorithm, and destroy it, and then no one has transportation anymore. Granted, if you don't know how to drive a car, but which eventually that would happen. That would take like 2 generations, maybe, right? And everyone's like, I don't know how to drive a car. I just get in it, I can go, and it takes me somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So, but like,
I don't know how to grow my own food.
oh hell no, exactly. Yeah, neither do I, dude. Yeah, I certainly couldn't get electricity. I was listening to someone's show today, and they're just like, yeah, it's funny. People get mad that like you're getting resources from one part of the country, or like it's in your country or another country or something. To like, don't they realize that everything we have came from the ground? Like literally, everything you have came from the ground. And then so like you said, I'm sitting on a chair. There's no fucking way I could ever make this chair. There's no way I can make the plastic of this pen, like just making or a pencil, like graphite, fake wood, bullshit balsamic not balsamic, balsa wood and rubber. Like I could never make a pencil. Never. Ever. Pencils cost 7 cents. But no one could ever make a pencil. Like there's a famous essay. It's called I Pencil.
I've heard of that.
It talks about how you make a pencil. And no one can make a pencil. There's not one human being who can make a pencil. It takes 10 million human beings to make a pencil or something like that. And it comes to you at zero cost, practically speaking. So like we're all in this integrated,
and the government runs the schools that tells everybody they need. So Big Pencil is running the whole educational Detroit. It's the pencil industrial complex, man. I'm telling you.
It is true, man. The writing industrial complex is terrible.
What they're using graphite to get into our lungs, right? Because everybody's sniffing this pencil dust. Okay.
So
you can look it up.
This stuff's going to keep happening, and I don't have a good answer for it. Like I would say that the answer is decentralization and less government control. How you do that, I don't really know, because like governments are going to want to control everything. So like Tesla is a great example. So like everyone's shutting down their stuff in Russia, and whatever, dude. If that's what you want to do as a company, that's fine. But just know you're harming the Russian people. You're not harming Putin. But like Elon Musk says, like he said, no, I'm not cutting access to my cars. And also, by the way, we should be like drilling for more oil, which is the direct conflict of interest. He actually said this. He's like, we should be more energy independent as a country on fossil fuels, which hashtag parentheses, that is a direct conflict of interest of mine. He's like, I do electric cars.
Sort of.
Like,
I mean, okay, like we said, the electric cars still run off the grid.
Gasoline, so straight up gasoline. Yes, agreed. Now, but like, we're not importing coal from China,
right?
You know what I mean? Yeah. So like coal-fired, natural gas, things that fire, nuclear power that power the generation plants that power the charging stations for Tesla aren't petroleum. But I think he's specifically speaking of oil and gasoline kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Do people still use pencils? Repatch. I do. Right here, kid. Look at this.
I don't.
I got a couple. Pens smear on my faxes. Not faxes, my scans. I do fax every now and again. But when I have to scan stuff, I draw a lot with a ruler I need
you should get
scale.
a Remarkable.
What's a Remarkable?
It's like a tablet thing that like you can draw on it, but it's not like a screen. It's like I don't know.
Fuck you.
A buddy of mine who runs a rental company was showing me. So he uses it to like write notes and stuff, and it automatically turns it into like text that can go into like a database or an email or something for you. I don't know. Never mind.
Hey, I run a small business here. I'm not made on Elon Musk
I
money.
put my pants
okay?
on one leg at a time, you know.
And I'm not a boomer. I'm a
We're elder
millennial?
millennials.
Elder millennials. Thank you, Repatch. I'm an elder millennial, and I sharpen my pencils at home. All right, okay.
I don't use pencils.
Thank you for engaging here, Repatch. I appreciate those. Those comments are great. Thank you.
I'm not a boomer, but I listen to boomer music.
I like Cat Stevens. Do you have a problem with that? Before he went, whatever his name was. No, yeah, that sounds cool. That's great. That's good.
Top 5
I've tried
musical
some
crimes
technology.
perpetrated by Stevie Wonder in the 80s.
Side question: is it better to
To burn out than to fade away.
fade away? That's what it is.
Anyway.
I just called to say I love you is a terrible song. Well, it's not a terrible song. It's not as good. It's not Stevie Wonder.
It's not
caliber.
Superstition.
It's not Superstition.
It's not, what's my other favorite Stevie Wonder song? I'm drawing a blank. But yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's all good. You're very true. Yep, I'm with you on that. Oh, I'm sorry. Is your daughter in a coma?
He offended me with his terrible taste. High Fidelity, 1999, John Cusack.
Probably
That's
one
like-
of the greatest movies ever
It's
made.
like I'm trying to incorporate the Michael Scott thing of any time you make a joke and it doesn't get the laugh you want, you have to like say where it came from. You're like, what? Kids in the hall. Yeah. You know, he just has to like label the thing that he just said so people get it. Yeah, you know, this is
I
South Park.
remember. Oh, geez, I just kicked my desk. Watching Kids in the like. I remember when Comedy Central was like not brand spanking. I guess a couple years old. Comedy Central was Kids in the Hall, live comedy shows,
Daily Show.
Mystery Science Theater. Oh hell no, way before
Oh,
Daily
this is
Show.
before that.
Oh yeah. What was that British show with those two obnoxious women? Oh, what was it called? Do you know what I'm talking about? Does that ring a bell?
No.
Oh wow. So yeah, you didn't have cable well before I did, so that's not fair.
I remember Kids in the Hall. I remember being in college and my roommate was like, "You ever seen Kids in the Hall?" I'm like, "What is that?" He's like, "It's this comedy show. It's great." And I watched it and I'm like, I literally have no idea what's happening. It was like I just wasn't in a place to understand the abstractness.
Yeah, I can't even remember this damn thing. Yeah, I know. Like
Wasn't,
the Daily Show
The guy from What We Do in the Jermaine Clements, wasn't he part of that?
of what?
It's Kids in the Hall. Or no.
What's his name?
One or more of the Kids in the Hall people is like now like a big name, and I'm trying to remember which one it was.
Oh,
Or was it the
So
guy
the
from
show-
It Crowd?
listen, the show I'm thinking of is called Absolutely Fabulous, and that's not.
Oh, I remember that.
No, the Kids in the Hall guys have all done a lot of stuff. What's their names? Kids in the Hall cast. Dave Foley is probably the most famous dude off Kids in the Hall. Bruce McCullough, Mark McKinney, Dave Foley, Kevin McDonald, and Scott Thompson was on there a lot.
Okay, none of those people who I'm thinking of. No.
Yeah, Paul Benelli, I don't know that guy. But like Dave Foley was really popular. He's done a bunch of stuff. You would recognize a lot of those dudes. No, that was like early Comedy Central. Like that's the first time like my older brothers used to record Mystery Science Theater on cassette tapes. Like there'd be like 2 or 3 episodes on like one, like slightly written on that tape thing you'd put on the cassette tape.
Oh yeah,
On the VCR. It was awesome.
dude. I had VHSs full of Seinfeld episodes,
Oh yeah. My brothers also had like,
and I didn't know the
entire-
actual titles. It was always just like Kramer Goes to California or something. I didn't know what.
Dude, my brothers had like, or probably my brother Jamie specifically had like the first like 7 seasons of The Simpsons, and every episode was labeled by his own title. Like, because there were, or like, because he wasn't looking at the TV guide. He was just coming like, it's like, oh, this is what happened. Like, this was the show.
SO3E22.
Like one of the things that might have it was just like the April's Fool classic. Just like it was an April Fool's Day thing where they started, and then it was a clip show. It was just called April Fool's Classics. I was just like, okay.
Remember when like
the episode name.
because I only ever had basic cable, periodically the cable company would like give you like a free month
Oh, the free preview, yeah,
of like the
right.
premium channels. And
Yep.
so it's like, oh, okay, everybody get ready. So it's like I'm looking through the newspaper, trying to figure out. I was like, all right, at 2 p.m. on Saturday, they're showing Stargate. We're gonna record that, and then
We're
like
watching Stargate.
so you gotta like get out all your high quality VHS tapes so you can tape like the uncut versions of all the movies.
Isn't that what a weird technology, man? Isn't that so funny? Oh, fucking you, Judah. Talk about Dashboard, you boomer. Yeah, well, you know what? Dashboard Confessional came out with a new album, and they're very good. It's very good. Okay,
I celebrate the band's
that's not even
entire
a boomer
catalog.
thing. Again, I do. Actually, I don't. I don't like
Dashboard would be younger Gen X and elder millennials, right?
for sure. However, I'm going to see Dashboard Confessional on Monday, and I'm very excited. They're
There you
opening
go.
for Jimmy Eat World, who's
Where
a
is
far
this?
superior at the Ritz or whatever the Ritz is called now. It's not the Ritz anymore. Whatever it is.
No, it's still
Or
the
is it
Ritz,
called
isn't
the
it?
Ritz still? Yeah, that's where we're going.
Huh. I don't like them anymore.
Sorry.
Well, no, they're fine. The Live Nation gypped us playing there, but
Oh yeah, I get it. But
It's
no,
a fun
but
venue.
Dashboard Confessional has put out a very sad acoustic album. Very classic Dashboard Confessional. I'm excited. I listened to it. I liked it. I'm down. Me and Chris Caraba, we are of like hearts. He's just more successful than me in every way. So, well, maybe not relationship wise, because he sounds like a miserable bastard. But that's okay.
yeah,
There,
he kind of has that
the
Taylor
grace of
Swift
God.
problem, maybe, where it's like if you write enough relationship songs, at some point, maybe somebody goes, or maybe you're the common denominator amongst all these heartbreaks.
I get the feeling that's the case. I could be wrong, but maybe not. Oh, his voice is the same. He sounds exactly the same. He's the whiny ass, sad acoustic bastard singing a song behind an acoustic guitar. Whatever. This- okay, groomer. There you go.
That's funny.
Yeah. So whatever.
I want to get that shirt that says defund the IRS. I feel like that's a shirt that would like it appeals to everybody, right?
Believe it or not, straight to jail.
You want a T-shirt? Straight to jail.
Parks and Recreation. That's the joke.
Parks and
Everybody
Rec,
wants to know. Parks and Rec. That's good.
Fred Armisen. Fred Armisen.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Have you done your taxes yet? Yeah,
I was
have
going
done
to.
my-
I always have to wait because like we get like 1099s. Ernie, who runs the band, gets like 1099s from all the venues.
what
then
a
he has to
pain
do
in
the
the ass that is.
He has
Wow.
well, he does all that part, but then he gets all that stuff and does the math, and then sends each of us a 1099. So I just
Dude,
got
that
mail like the other day.
sucks.
So I got to put that in as like I do my like self-employed thing. It's actually not that hard. I mean, I can do all of it in like an afternoon. But
Yeah, but that's frustrating.
But
So,
the
like, for
advantage is
me-
that I get to go through and itemize like mileage and
Yeah.
any expenses I had and all that kind of stuff. So I basically don't pay any taxes on music income.
That's cool.
We should get that on a T-shirt.
Okay, groomer. Yes, I agree. So, like, my taxes are relatively annoying. I got to do like a corporate tax return, and then that all files through my personal stuff. So, we just finished that, and then I got to do my personal stuff. So,
I can just tell by
That's
your
when-
body language that that's a huge pain in the
That's-
ass. You're like,
yeah, because it's not that it's a pain in the ass because it's easy. It's an easy process. It's just like I don't pay taxes personally throughout the year like my corporation does, or I do. I pay taxes for my company, so it
Yeah.
all runs through me at the end of the year, or me and my business partner. So that's how it goes. So like we everyone's just like, how much money did you get back this year? I'm like, how much money did I have to pay this year? That I never get money back now. It's always
you know those roads
It's
you're
not-
driving on? You're welcome.
yeah, it's business income, and I pay taxes on it. So it's always just like, oh, do I have enough? How much money do I have to have in the bank to pay this monster check that I have to cut? And it's frustrating. That's all. Again,
Huh.
you got. That's right. Screw you, Repatch.
Got
Ooh,
ourselves a good old
Judah,
fashioned feud.
Do you know Repatch? Ooh.
Answers to a question we do not know.
Fight. You know what? This is a lot more fun with comments.
Yeah,
I wish
it really
we had
is.
more at a time. We should
Taking some more super
promote
chats.
We should promote our show a little bit more, just to like have anybody just comment every now and again.
And then we can get our bank accounts disabled.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as soon as we get a super
Like,
chat,
thanks.
or
You can go like a Monday morning, like, thanks guys for a great turnout. We'd just like to thank everybody for.
and we're canceled.
And we're gone.
Our $17 has been.
You look on Google Maps at
zero.
your house, and there's just like a blank space where your house used to be, like erased from existence.
Oh man. It's a weird time to be alive. So, hey, like remember a couple weeks ago we were talking about the Canadian trucker stuff.
Yeah.
And like the Bitcoin thing, and like I haven't really dug into this more. However, so like there was an order to shut down Bitcoin accounts that were supporting the trucker stuff.
Right.
So like what's happening is, from what I understand, is that obviously, so like Bitcoin is a decentralized currency. However, you still have to exchange it, monetize it, off ramp it from Bitcoin
in order to use it
to USD. So those off ramps are where people can still completely fuck it up and cut off.
It's like there's no speed limits on the Autobahn.
Well,
but when you get off the Autobahn, then they arrest you.
Right. So this happened in Russia. Coinbase, which is a cryptocurrency exchange app kind of thing, cut off their access to Russia, which to me seems like those guys are the biggest dickheads of all, because they're the ones they're like, yeah, man, decentralized currency, that's what you need. And they're like, screw you, Russian people who have decentralized currency. We're shutting down our operations in Russia. So like the exchange medium for Bitcoin to rubles or whatever the hell it is, is they turned off their access in Russia. And what a fucked up thing that is.
So the solution here is to just have more and more businesses and retail outlets accept Bitcoin directly.
Yeah, so
without having to use a middleman.
Yeah,
like dollars or rubles.
But even then, right? So here's the scary thing to me. So this is why I still I love the idea of the decentralized currency, and this is the topic.
But anything digital is trackable.
It is, and it's shut downable, is it not? Like, there's no way to get around that.
What we need is what we need to do is you need to get like a proof of Bitcoin that's not, you put it in like a paper form, maybe like this big, maybe like a nice, maybe green, I don't know, and like put some people on it, like presidents or whatever, and then you have like a proof of your Bitcoin that's like a physical thing, right? Yeah, that's what you do.
So maybe this is just the problem with money in general, but I feel like money that's backed by backed by a physical asset is less apt to do that, because you can still trade the physical asset. So I don't know. And I'm not a Bitcoin hater, man. I'm not
until we go to the moon and discover gold in the moon, and then the value of gold becomes inflated.
Judah says yes to fight, and carry Bitcoin in a Walkman. Yes. I love my Walkman.
Work.
My Discman and my Walkman. Yeah, I don't know. So again, I'm just talking out loud here.
Actually,
I don't got a good answer.
That's another good setup for a movie. Did you ever see The Expanse?
No.
Anyway, it's like a sort of a mystery, sort of conspiracy kind of stuff that takes place in the solar system where there's natural resources and stuff. Anyway, but I was just thinking the idea of stuff that's valuable now on Earth, like precious metals, it's because they're rare and they have an economic value, right? So if we start exploring the moon, Mars, asteroids and stuff, and we start finding all of these minerals, right? Is that going to totally destabilize the value of all this stuff? And are people going to protect it? Because actually we shouldn't go there, because if they go there, then the stuff that we have a control over here is not going to be worth as much, right? It's like the way De Beers buys all the diamonds.
Sure.
That may be me talking out of my ass.
No, but that's kind of a good parallel. Like,
It's going to be the new colonialism, basically,
well,
right?
that's why.
Like a gold rush,
Yeah.
except there's no indigenous peoples to displace, so at least there's not that moral quandary, right? So
Well,
we started colonizing the asteroids and mining all of those places. At least there's no people there that we can abuse, but there's going to be a lot of like opportunities for exploitation.
sure. Well, I mean, in general, that's what like the CBDC, central bank decentralized currency push is. It's the digital currencies of centralized banks, which is like they could just do that. That's the thing though. There's no barrier to entry, really. And that's what I don't again, and that's what I don't get about. I saw a post today. There's like, Bitcoin hit 18.1 million Bitcoins, only 2.1 million more. Like, who fucking says? Who says that? Why is that? Why is there only 2.1 more billion?
Isn't
Bitcoin
that built
available?
into the concept? There's only 20 million.
You mean the idea? Someone has an idea that's built into the idea. Who? So like the Constitution is an idea.
Well, who
That's worked
invented
out well.
Bitcoin?
Thomas Jefferson. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, I don't know. So, like, everyone's like, that's a great idea. The Constitution is a great idea. It's a failure in every way, shape, and form. Hasn't done what it said it was going to do. Not even close.
It's getting
Failed
there.
on. It's not getting there. It's getting worse. It's failed on
In
every
some,
level.
this is a rabbit hole for maybe next week, but
It should be. The Constitution's a failure. So, like, and like, I'm scared Bitcoin's a failure.
well, maybe, but I don't know. Maybe we should probably understand how Bitcoin works before we start.
No, I want to talk indiscriminately about things I don't understand. Okay, Dan? This is what I do. This is the internet. This is what this is for. No, I'm just like, again, I fully admit I don't have a full understanding. I would like to talk to somebody who actually has a better understanding about it.
I have
And I really
listened to
don't.
hours of people trying to explain Bitcoin, and I still don't understand.
Me too. And I'm not a reasonably, I'm not a dumb person.
I spent
don't
30 minutes
think.
the other day listening to a thing about like, here's how to set up a Bitcoin farm in your garage. And I'm like, all right, I got no understand computers. I could do that. And I got about 5 minutes into it and I'm like, I don't even know what that means. There's people like literally they take their basement and they're like routing out holes for coolant and stuff. And they're doing all this and they're setting up and then they start using the software term. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, man, I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know anybody who's actually given me a good firm explanation on the ins and the outs. And like I would love to talk, like I would just love to talk and go, you said something, I got a question. You said something, I got a question. And like not to be a dick about it. I really don't understand it. But like I get the general gist of it, just the ins and the outs are very foreign to me.
I still don't understand what the word blockchain means.
Yeah, no, neither do I. Yeah. Yep. Neither do I. And I've used it in conversation. Like I know what I'm talking about because I'm a fraud.
Yeah.
I might as well have a Ukraine flag over my
Ukraine.
avatar. Ukraine flag.
Ukraine frag.
Oh, you can't frag you.
So speaking of jargon that we don't understand, my new favorite phrase is value add. Like
Okay.
people like in a group conversation and one person just sort of says something. There's like, oh no, just trying to be a value add. And I'm like, oh God. I've heard like there's one person I know who's used it like, and I've had like 4 conversations with this person and they've said it in 2 of them. Was trying to be a value add. Oh, it's so annoying.
Well, you're a value minus. That conversation right there. That statement minus value. Get out of the room. Leave. Just really pin it on him, Dan. Pin it on the lapel.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
It is. You shouldn't do that. That'd be rude.
I'm very low on most of the totem poles that I inhabit.
Yeah. Well, I'm upper on my totem pole, but also you have no control once you're up there either. So you're at the mercy of everyone around you. Nothing changes. Everyone's in the same position. It really is. True.
When you get to the top of the dominance hierarchy,
Oh,
you
screw you. Screw you.
There's really nowhere to go but down, and so you're basically just vying for control of the dominance from the other prominent people. So the people at the bottom,
was pretty good.
That's
Wasn't
not
bad.
very good. That's me doing an impression of other people doing the Kermit impression of Jordan Peterson.
I mean, it's better than I could do. I don't. You have a better impression voice than I got no impressions. Nope, not at all. That was good.
It's like Jesus,
it.
man. What you got to sort yourself out and figure out where you are. I mean,
That is the story of the Bible. Make your bed. That's it. Just make your bed. You're good. That was the whole thing. It took like 3,000 years to compile. Make your bed. That's all it is. Also, eat steak every day.
I'm okay with that.
Hallelujah. And we are out of here.
There we go.
Is Michaela married? Right?
She's engaged.
Oh, missed that boat. I mean, I know you got a good one, but you still missed that boat.
In Soviet Russia, steak eat you.
With salt and water and nothing else.
Nothing else.
You shit brick.
You got to hit the end button.
Can't even hit the end